Let's be honest, Hollywood has seen drama, but this right here? This makes the Kardashians look like a church picnic. The entire internet froze when news broke that King Harris, the son of hip-hop royalty T.I. and Tiny, was fighting for his life in the doctor's report? Let's just say it didn't come wrapped in sunshine and confetti. Sources say even the hospital walls could feel the tension, with T.I. pacing like a man watching his legacy slip through his fingers. Tiny? Completely shattered. The woman who once held the X-Gate mic now holding her son's hand. Praying for one more breath. It's the kind of scene you'd expect from a heartbreaking Netflix finale, except it's real life. And there's no skip recap button this time. Cameras might not be rolling, but every move, every tear, every whispered "stay with us" is echoing across social media like a national emergency. And just when people thought they'd seen it all, the doctor's final report leaked, shaking fans to their core. What really happened in that hospital room? What did the family beg them not to say? Sit tight, because what's coming next might just break the internet and your heart. The day started like any other in the Harris household: flashy cars, Instagram stories, and that usual air of untouchable celebrity chaos. But then, out of nowhere, silence. No posts, no updates. No jokes from King Harris. Fans knew something was off, and within hours, social media transformed into a digital prayer circle. It wasn't just gossip anymore, it was a full-blown emergency. Rumors spread faster than a TMZ notification. King Harris in critical condition. T.I. spotted at the hospital looking pale. Tiny rushed in. Tears. Some thought it was clickbait, another overhyped rapper moment, until a nurse allegedly leaked an audio message saying, "The doctors are preparing the final report." That single line sent the internet into meltdown. Hashtags like #pray for King Harris and #staystrong tips started trending across Twitter, TikTok, and even Facebook Ani circles that hadn't mentioned hip-hop since the BET Awards of 2005. The energy shifted overnight. Suddenly, King Harris, the loud, defiant, "I run the city" kid, became the fragile face of heartbreak. For years, he'd been caught between fame and rebellion. He wasn't just T.I.'s son, he was the headline magnet. The boy who argued with trolls, fought his haters live on camera, and turned every controversy into a viral clip. But behind the laughter and the wild moments, people now started whispering. Was he silently drowning under the pressure of living up to his last name? Inside that Atlanta hospital, the vibe was darker than a BET Awards show after-party gone wrong. T.I. reportedly refused to leave his son's side. Sources claimed he walked out of a meeting with producers just to rush there, saying, "Money can wait, my son can't." Tiny, holding back sobs, was seen calling family members, her voice trembling like every word might be the last one she got to say. Then came the first insider leak, a message from someone close to the family circle. It claimed that doctors were working around the clock and that King's condition was extremely fragile. And just like that, every gossip site went into beast mode. The same pages that used to mock King's flashy attitude were now reposting childhood clips of him hugging T.I., calling him the heart of the family. Hypocrisy? Absolutely. But welcome to the internet, where people roast you on Monday and pray for you by Tuesday. T.I., known for his pride and poetic vocabulary, dropped his usual tough guy act. He posted a single black and white photo, no caption, just his hand gripping King's. Within minutes, it broke Instagram. Celebrities started commenting. Meek Mill, Boosie, Lil Durk, even Rick Ross wrote, "Stay strong, King." Meanwhile, fans flooded the comments with messages like, "We're not ready for this," and "Not King Harris, man. Not like this." It didn't take long before conspiracy theories began brewing. People started asking why the family was so quiet. Why were no official statements being made? Why was T.I. seen arguing with the doctor in the hospital hallway? A grainy clip surfaced showing T.I. in tears, yelling, "Tell me the truth, man," before walking off. The internet ate it up, dissecting it frame by frame like a courtroom exhibit. Bloggers and YouTubers scrambled for exclusive updates. Some claimed a medication error. Others blamed exhaustion. A few even went as far as suggesting dark forces, the curse of celebrity children. Every influencer suddenly turned into a medical expert, explaining symptoms they Googled 5 minutes earlier. But through all the noise, one fact stayed solid: something serious was going on. and the family wasn't ready to talk. Tiny, usually the emotional anchor, reportedly broke down during a private moment with family friends. One insider said Tiny just kept saying, "He's too young for this. Too much pressure." The line hit fans hard. For years, King had been battling not just fame but identity. Born into success but determined to prove he could stand on his own. And that struggle might have been eating him alive. While the doctors prepared their report, fans prepared for the worst. Outside the hospital, supporters showed up with posters, flowers, and candles. People were literally holding vigils, streaming live on TikTok, crying to songs from T.I.'s old albums. It was surreal, like a city on pause, watching one family's pain unfold in real time. And then came the turning point, the medical leak that turned whispers into chaos. Someone from the hospital's inner circle dropped what they claimed was the preliminary report, suggesting King's condition had taken a sudden decline. That sentence was enough to send the internet into meltdown. Screenshots flew across Twitter like wildfire. Fans refused to believe it, saying, "Not King, not the one who never backs down." But behind the closed doors of that hospital, reality was crueler than headlines. Doctors allegedly told T.I. and Tiny to prepare for all outcomes. Those 6 words crushed the family. The same man who once told the world he was King of the South could barely stand. Witnesses said T.I. walked out of the hospital room, leaned against a wall, and just stared, silent, broken, and praying that fame could somehow rewrite fate. Tiny, holding her son's hand, reportedly whispered, "Baby, we're right here. Don't give up." Fans later claimed that energy was felt across the city, as if the collective prayers of millions were trying to pull him back. The internet became a digital chapel. Every post, every comment carried desperation. Still, one question burned through every thread. What really happened? Why did things get so serious so fast? Why were the doctors refusing to make a public statement? Rumors grew that the family had demanded privacy, but you know the internet. Privacy lasts about as long as a TikTok dance trend. By midnight, a new wave of leaks hit. Messages from alleged nurses saying the final report is coming. That phrase, "final report," became a headline monster. Fans started panicking, blogs were refreshing every 10 seconds. And the Harris family mansion became surrounded by paparazzi, like it was the Grammys. The situation had transformed from a health scare to a full-blown national story. It wasn't about music anymore, or fame, or celebrity drama. It was about a father, a mother, and their son, trapped between headlines and heartbreak. And as the clock ticked closer to that final doctor's report, one thing became painfully clear: the Harris family's life would never be the same again. Because when the doctors finally stepped out with that clipboard, what they said next didn't just shock the family. It broke the internet in half. The hospital lights flickered like they knew something heavy was coming. Cameras flashed outside like lightning. And then the doctors appeared. Calm, professional, but carrying faces that could silence an entire stadium. You could almost hear the world hold its breath. They didn't even need to speak. Their expressions screamed, "This is bad." Within minutes, someone accidentally hit record. And that's when the chaos began. A clip surfaced online, blurry, shaky, like something out of a crime documentary, showing the head physician murmuring, "We've done everything we can. It's time for the family to gather." Boom, the internet exploded. Fans screamed, "No way!" Others started accusing TMZ of hacking hospital footage. One user tweeted, "This ain't a hospital anymore, it's a reality show finale." And honestly, they weren't wrong. As the leak spread, the mood flipped from concern to hysteria. People weren't just talking, they were mourning. Rap blogs posted tribute edits. TikTokers stitched old clips of King Harris laughing with captions like, "Gone too soon?" Meanwhile, Twitter turned into a digital courtroom, trying to figure out who leaked what, and WHYT reportedly went off on hospital staff. One witness claimed he yelled, "You think this is a joke? That's my son, not your headline." Security had to calm him down, but the cameras were already rolling outside. And while the world was digesting the emotional chaos, a shocking detail dropped. The doctor's report mentioned complications linked to stress and exhaustion. That's when fans lost it. Stress? Exhaustion? The internet practically turned into a therapy session. People started dissecting every clip, every live, every argument King ever had. They said fame chewed him up, spit him out, and then laughed while he bled. Others blamed T.I. and Tiny, claiming their public family feuds and reality show exposure turned King's life into a circus. One commenter wrote, "They raised him in a spotlight hotter than the sun, no wonder he burned out." Savage. But it echoed across thousands of posts. Celebrities began flooding timelines. Nicki Minaj tweeted a heart emoji with "praying for you." King, Cardi B reposted an old interview clip of King saying, "I'm built for this." Even Boosie, who's usually allergic to emotional tweets, dropped a long post saying, "That boy got heart." The streets praying. Then came the memes because the internet can't stay serious for more than 6 minutes. Someone edited T.I.'s "Live Your Life" performance with angel wings on King. Another turned Tiny's crying photo into a "Pray for the Real Ones" meme. And before long, the emotional storm turned into the usual chaotic circus. Half sympathy, half savagery, but the moment that truly cracked the internet wide open came from an unexpected voice, King's own best friend, who went live and dropped a verbal bomb. "Y'all don't even know what's going on. They're not telling you the truth. The doctor said something else. This was avoidable." The word "avoidable" became the spark that set the digital world ablaze. Fans started connecting dots that didn't exist. Some said it was medical negligence. Others whispered about industry sacrifices. And because this is hip-hop culture, someone even claimed it was karma from old beefs. The conspiracy machine went from 0 to 100 faster than T.I.'s Lambo. Meanwhile, inside the hospital, the energy turned from fear to disbelief. One source claimed Tiny collapsed in the hallway after hearing the doctor's update. T.I., holding her hand, reportedly said, "If he goes, I go too." The image alone shattered hearts across the internet. A man known for his iron ego, broken, begging for mercy from the universe, the news anchors didn't help either. Entertainment Tonight ran the headline, "Doctors reveal shocking new report on King Harris, family devastated." The Shade Room reposted it with siren emojis. And within an hour, over 500,000 comments flooded in. Some sent love. Others turned it into a debate about parenting, fame, and mental health. Even YouTube reactors jumped in. One popular commentator went viral saying, "This is deeper than rap. This is the price of fame catching up to the next generation." And yet, amid the noise, something beautiful happened. Fans, real fans, started organizing candlelight vigils in Atlanta. Crowds gathered, holding photos, playing T.I.'s "Dead and Gone" on loop. Streets that once echoed with trap beats were now filled with tears and prayers. Even rival rappers put their beefs aside to post support. That's when you realize sometimes tragedy makes even the hardest hearts soft. But just when everyone thought it couldn't get worse, a new clip leaked. The supposed final words of the doctors, recorded by someone inside the hospital room. You could hear one of them say, "He's still fighting, but the body's tired." That 5-second audio broke the internet for good. Fans began posting prayer chains. TikTok flooded with slow-motion edits of King as a child. Old interviews resurfaced where T.I. proudly said, "King's gonna make his own mark." The emotional weight was unbearable. Even people who'd once dragged King for his cockiness were now saying, "Man, he's still just a kid." But the most jaw-dropping twist came when one of T.I.'s close friends went live and dropped this bombshell. They tried to keep the real report private. But the truth's out. The doctors told them King's chances were slim. They told T.I. and Tiny to say their goodbyes. That single statement sent fans into full panic. Comment sections turned into grief forums. You could literally scroll and feel the collective heartbreak. Some fans even showed up at the hospital with posters reading, "King, we're still fighting with you." Then, boom, another curveball. A second anonymous insider came forward claiming the doctors weren't telling everything. They hinted that something unexpected was still happening behind closed doors. Maybe a miracle, maybe not, but the suspense was too thick to breathe through. The internet split in half. Half believed the worst had already happened. The other half believed in divine intervention. Twitter spaces were filled with heated debates, with fans arguing about hope versus reality. People were crying live on camera. TikTok went into overdrive with angel number readings predicting a miracle recovery. Meanwhile, the Harris family had gone completely silent. No post, no statements. No leaks, just a heavy void that made everything 10 times scarier. Fans began to say, "The silence says it all." But then, one cryptic message appeared on T.I.'s story. Just 2 words: "Keep praying." It was enough to reignite hope. Even as headlines grew darker, the tension was unreal. It felt like watching the world's most heartbreaking cliffhanger, except this wasn't fiction. This was raw, messy reality. The same fans who laughed at King's live rants were now glued to their screens, praying this wouldn't end in tragedy. And just when everyone thought the next update would confirm the worst, a nurse stepped out of the hospital at dawn with tears in her eyes. Paparazzi caught her whispering something that sent the internet spinning. "You won't believe what just happened in there." By the time the sun crept over Atlanta, the world was watching that hospital like it was the Super Bowl of heartbreak. Everyone from nosy bloggers to genuine fans was desperate for a single update. And then word began to leak. Something happened inside that room. Something the family wasn't ready to share, but the internet? Oh, the internet doesn't wait for permission. A nurse, eyes swollen from crying, was overheard saying, "He opened his eyes for a second." That was it. Just 6 words. But 6 words that hit the timeline like an atomic bomb. TikTok went from morning edits to miracle alert videos in under an hour. Fans were posting crying emojis mixed with celebration gifs. People in Atlanta started chanting "King Strong" outside the hospital. It felt like the city had gone from funeral mode to faith revival overnight. But here's where it gets wild. Insiders claim doctors were stunned. One even said it was beyond medical explanation. They'd allegedly prepped the family for the worst, ready to sign off on the final report. And then the monitors beeped. One fan tweeted, "This ain't medicine. This divine intervention." Another wrote, "King Harris just broke the simulation." Meanwhile, inside the private ward, T.I. and Tiny were still frozen in disbelief. One moment they were clinging to each other, bracing for the doctor's verdict. The next, they were watching their son's vitals spark like he'd heard everyone praying for him. Tiny reportedly collapsed to her knees, crying, "Thank you, God." T.I., who'd been pacing for hours, finally cracked a faint smile, the kind of smile that says, "I just witnessed a miracle." The scene was emotional chaos. Relatives started calling it the revival room. King's siblings rushed in, and you could hear laughter and tears colliding. Someone even shouted, "The boy ain't done yet." That phrase instantly became a Twitter hashtag. Hashtag the boy ain't done yet, trending worldwide within minutes. But not everyone bought the miracle angle. This is the internet, where joy lasts 5 minutes before the skeptics show up. Conspiracy threads popped up claiming the revival was staged to cover something bigger. Some said it was PR manipulation. Others swore the family was hiding deeper health issues. One blog headline screamed, "Is King Harris alive? Or is this damage control?" Because apparently empathy doesn't trend as well as suspicion. Still, that didn't stop the love from flooding in. Celebrities who'd gone quiet suddenly reappeared with emotional posts. 50 Cent tweeted, "This real life. Pray for the young king." Chris Brown dropped an old photo with King captioned, "Never underestimate faith." And even Charleston White, who'd once trashed King publicly, went live saying, "I talk my mess, but I don't wish this pain on nobody." That's when you know the situation hit deeper than beef. It hit humanity, as the hours passed, hospital security tightened. Fans kept showing up with balloons, signs, and speakers blasting "Whatever you like." It was part prayer vigil, part block party, part reality show finale. News vans lined the street, drones hovered, and every major outlet fought for a quote. But T.I. refused interviews. Tiny stayed silent. The family issued one statement through their rep: "We appreciate the prayers. Please respect our space." But of course, nobody did. The next leak came from someone claiming to have seen the full medical report. They said it described King's condition as unstable but improving. That's all it took. The world shifted again from despair to cautious optimism. Fans called it the biggest plot twist of 2025. Memes popped up calling King the real phoenix of hip-hop. And someone even edited T.I.'s "No Matter What" music video with a caption reading, "He fought, he fell, he rose." Meanwhile, doctors were allegedly preparing a statement for the media, but the family stopped it. They didn't want the story told by anyone else. Not the tabloids, not the bloggers, not the clout chasers. They wanted control, T.I. reportedly told the hospital board. This is our truth, not their headline. And just like that, the hospital went silent again, tight-lipped. Sealed files and security on every floor. Still, the whispers didn't stop. Some insiders claimed King woke up and asked one simple question: did my fans give up on me? If true, that single line belongs in the Hall of Fame of emotional gut punches. It became an instant quote meme posted on every page, from shade room teens to spiritual Instagram accounts. But the emotional roller coaster didn't end there. King's supposed awakening triggered a massive outpouring of self-reflection across hip-hop. Suddenly, rappers were talking about mental health, burnout, and pressure like never before. A few even admitted they saw themselves in King trying to prove something in a world that demands perfection but offers no peace. And for once, the narrative wasn't about clout. It was about compassion. Even the usual trolls were humbled. The kid they used to mock had somehow united the industry through pain, survival, and the kind of resilience that money can't buy. By that night, King's name was the #1 search term across the entire internet. People weren't watching his music videos for drama, they were replaying them as tribute. Old interviews where he laughed off haters became emotional soundtracks for fan edits. It was like watching a phoenix rise through pixels and heartbreak. Then came the family's first public appearance. T.I. stepped out of the hospital looking exhausted but composed. Cameras flashed as he said, "My son's still fighting. That's all y'all need to know." His voice cracked halfway through, and you could tell this wasn't the confident rapper from Rubber Band Man. This was a father who'd seen the edge and wasn't ready to let go. Tiny followed, sunglasses hiding tears, whispering, "We thank everyone, truly. Keep him in your prayers." The crowd outside started chanting, "King! King! King!" until the whole block vibrated. That moment? Pure cinematic poetry. Later that night, a post appeared on King's official Instagram. Just 2 words: "Still here." No caption, no hashtags. The comment section went nuclear, millions of hearts, crying emojis, and "God is good" comments stacking by the second. But the story didn't end there. Because as much as fans celebrated, insiders warned that King's journey was far from over. Recovery would be long, grueling, and public. Every move he made now would be watched, analyzed, and turned into content. Fame had nearly destroyed him once, but this time it might just save him. The world had seen his worst moment. Now they were ready to witness his comeback. The question was, would King Harris rise stronger, or would the same fame that nearly broke him come calling again? Either way, one thing was clear: T.I. and Tiny's tears turned into fire. The family wasn't just surviving. They were rewriting the story in real time. Because in a world addicted to downfall, the Harris family just gave everyone something rarer: redemption. So after all the chaos, leaks, and emotional roller coasters that made the internet forget how to breathe, we're left with one undeniable truth: the Harris family just gave reality TV a run for its money. This wasn't a scripted episode. This was raw, unfiltered, life just slapped you in the face kind of drama. And if you made it this far, you're officially part of the audience that refuses to look away when fame starts to crack. But let's keep it real. The story isn't over. King Harris didn't just survive. He resurrected his reputation. The same kid everyone clowned a month ago is now being hailed like a hip-hop phoenix rising from the ashes of public judgment. It's poetic. It's messy. It's everything the internet lives for. And you already know, when it comes to T.I., Tiny, and King, this saga ain't ending anytime soon. There's always another leak, another source close to the family, another emotional earthquake waiting to hit your timeline. So before you scroll away pretending you didn't just binge watch this entire drama like a Netflix miniseries, do what real ones do: smash that like button like it owes you money. Drop your thoughts in the comments and hit subscribe, because the next twist, it's already brewing. Every tear, every rumor, every so-called final moment only fuels the fire. And here at Trend Tattle, we've got the marshmallows ready. So buckle up, fam. This isn't goodbye. This is the start of the next headline, the next chaos, the next you won't believe what happened. Because in the world of fame, there's no happily ever after. There's only what happens next. And trust me, when it drops, Trend Tattle will be the first to tell you.